Sasakawa Global 2000 organized a 3-week Fabricators course where 10 participants drawn from various workshops attended. The training, which took place at Nakawa Vocational Training Institute, was intended to impart skills in fabricating a grain winnower. The workshops which sent in the participants are located in specific areas where Sasakawa Global 2000 operates. This is expected to give a multiplier effect when the trained technicians go back to their respective localities to produce the machines for the farmers. By the end of the 3 weeks training, 3 grain winnowers were expected to have been fabricated and operational. Before the training started, participants had the opportunity to tour the entire institute to acquaint themselves with their respective departments, which included the electronics workshop, the electrical installation and refrigeration workshop, machining section, motor vehicle section, carpentry section, and sheet metal section. The participants were taken through the theory of fabricating a grain winnower and how it works.
The main part here is there is a feeding part. For the feeding, maybe after threshing, the blower is used to clean the grass. So something has to be done before that, means the threshing has to be done before. So after threshing, you come and you use this machine for cleaning system.
One of the areas indicated to us was this institute, since they also facilitate and finance it, and then they felt anything related to any of their money that they send for any other project, it should also work closely and link up with this institute.
Each association has formed, which has been formed in different areas, has got a center around it. In other words, a center is a physical structure or a farmer's house where they can do, where they can access training in terms of capacity building, where they can also have small machinery, things like what we are making now.
Yes.
The machinery that will handle processing of, say, maize, rice, and those legumes I'm talking about. And then, of course, the machinery also which will do cleaning for proper marketing of the produce.
The whole idea for the project is to create a local technical team that can ensure farmer empowerment and sustainability.
The question here may have moved out exhibiting machines with farmers. It is the farmers whom I could refer this question to Mr. Kayev that should be sensitized to understand how to work together, to form associations, so that they can be able to raise funds to buy these machines individually, so that they can produce better quality products.
If the farmer says they want a winnower in our group, then it is a winnower that we shall go by. If he says they want a maize meal, we shall go by the maize meal. And as a government policy, you know there is the NADS, National Agricultural Advisory Services. They are extending services to the farmers through groups or farmers fora. That is from the sub-county level up to the district level. And it is a policy that this program must cover the whole country in a period of time. I think at the moment they are in about 37 or 36 districts out of the 70-something districts. You know, when they are catching up, more districts are coming. But of course, they are within the same district. Yeah. For example, if they were in Tororo and tomorrow it becomes Busia, then another day it becomes Palisa, it is the same district. So the numbers is going up, but then the area they are serving is almost the same. So it's a government policy. If people have to access services, they must form groups, they must form higher level associations. And Sasakawa is now already in agreement with the government, because we work with the government. And we are now trying to help government form what we call higher level farmers organizations.
The participants were divided into 3 groups. each composed of 3 to 4 people. They were assigned various roles like machining of shafts, drilling and fabricating other components needed for the winnower. Thorough preparations before the actual construction of the winnower was made, and this included cutting metal pieces to the required sizes. After days of hard work, cutting metal pieces into the required shapes and measurements, the grain winnower began taking shape. The participants were putting final touches on the winnowers and making them ready for testing. The fabricated winnowers were finally painted to give them a clean finish. The 3 weeks training exposed participants to different experiences.
The task was not all that very difficult, because why I say it is not difficult, because some of us, or rather 3/4 of the people, have ever gone through this type of job similar to this, though not actually the same machine. There were some critical parts of the machine which actually required some great attention and somehow systematic handling before we could assemble. Though we had to make parts by part, then later we could come together and assemble under the instruction of our technician from Ethiopia.
I'm so happy that we managed to come about with this machine, and it is operating well. It removes off the husks, especially for the side of rice, and then for the side of maize it is also good. And for the farmers deep down in the villages, it will be helping them so much, because we have an engine there. It uses little fuel to overcome the work that can be done in a very short time.
The work here, this machine here, you can see it as if it's an easy thing to do, but it needs a critical measurements before you start anything to do here. Measurements should be the first thing which you must consider, but somebody may just be there, come and then see the machine, and then you see that it's easy to make it, but it's not easy.
So far the work has not been so difficult. It's only that if you had ever taken a technical drawing, it needed to take much measures and the correct measures so that you come with this kind of machines. Only that the problem I find in this machine, there is this fan housing we are having here, but inside there we are having a fan. But actually when we cut and measure these machines as we are seeing them, and after fabricating this machine, the only problem some of our friends that we found that the fan was touching. As the moment you try to start this motor, this engine, then the fan will be touching there inside. And actually it won't be working when the fan is touching. So it has been a difficult task. So if you find such a task, you have to open, then check the fans. If at all you can file or you can cut so that the fan moves well within the fan housing.
The most tedious part, I think, is the blower section. That's where I saw there was a lot of drawing interpretation, and if you make any slight error, you'll find the fan will touch the side of the blow from the inside.
It has been a little bit difficult, though on the other side it has been simple, because most of the work have been for the engineer came from Ethiopia. He was our instructor. Where we could find difficulties in the drawings he brought, we could inquire from him and put it right. So in fact it's been difficult, but not that much difficult, because himself was around to put us right where we are going wrong, and work had to go on. So we have finally come up with this machine. And now, as we stand with it right now, you can see it's complete, it works so well, it cleans, and it's now going to help, for example, in agriculture institutions, and to help the agriculture products to be on the market, the world market.
The first outlet will give you the seeds of higher weight, which are heavier than the other ones, depending on the acceleration of the machine. If it is fast, it will be blowing and giving you, separating the heavy seeds and the light seeds, meaning that the other outlet is for the light seeds, this outlet is for the heavier seeds. Then the chaff is blown out through here. Any seeds which tend to come out with the chaff actually are protected by this bending of the sieve, and they go back and fall under this, and then we get them through the other outlet. This machine, the capacity as regards maize is 1.5 tons, and the consumption of fuel per hour is 1 liter, giving us that the output is all that very, very nice, whereby the farmers cannot have any complaint. But another point we would like to inform their farmers and the viewers, this machine can be reduced. The shape remains, but the size can be reduced. As regards the size of the engine, we can also reduce the horsepower. As per this one, the horsepower is 5.5. But if you reduce the size of the machine, automatically the engine also has to reduce to step down the horsepower to 3.5, which can also run a medium-sized machine. And we have even a smaller size. This one is purposely to allow the farmers on a small scale also to be able to purchase the machine. You have to adjust the closing plate, this one here. You have to screw out this bolt until the opening is created here. Then you pour your grains along here. Already fixed the engine on its base, and you check all the bolting system that they are tight. You check all the bolting system along the machine. Before you start the machine, see to it that the fuel is there, the oil is there, then you can choke and you start.
I'm very grateful for Sasakawa and JICA for putting input to train our technicians for these agricultural equipment to improve on our agricultural products. If at all we want to advance and come out of poverty which has disturbed us.
The program coordinator, Sasakawa Global 2000, said that at the end of this training, farmers should be able to know who to contact for a facility like a grain winnower. He added that the participants must endeavor to reach out to the end users of the fabricated winnowers to know how they are coping.
Seeing from the work we have done, plus the background you have down there, I think you are proficient enough to produce a machine that can be accepted.
The 3 weeks Fabricators course was officially closed by the Minister of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, Engineer Hilary Onek. As a tradition, the minister was taken around the institute.
This is adjusting the amount of grain we want to enter.
This training came up as a result of what we are doing in the service centers or one-stop centers with the farmers who are now holding big volumes of maize. I think the Honorable Minister saw it at the lake when you went to that place. You saw the biggest problem was drying, cleaning, and then packaging the seed, which the grain which they were dealing with. So because of that, and actually it is purposeful that we thought it wise that if such a unit or big associations, they can be able to afford this kind of unit, and it will
some
facilitate
already
their
using
work.
some.
Yes.
It's estimated that if, for example, you're cleaning rice, it can clean 1.5 tons per hour. And if you're cleaning, for example, maize, you can clean up to 2 tons per hour. And the consumption of fuel in that hour will be 1 liter. Yeah. And the capacity or the engine capacity is 5.5 horsepower. Yes. And this machine can be operated at least with a maximum of 3 people and a minimum of at least 2 people. Because one will start the engine, or will be controlling, one will be feeding.
Just a brief understanding of what Sasakawa Global 2000 is. Sasakawa Global 2000 is a non-governmental organization